Your video.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Shalom Aleichem, everybody. I might shock you with some information that's not well known. But the days of Sphira, we are now in the days of Sphira. It's famous for Rabbi Akiva and the halachas of Sphira of the morning, of Sphira, why we don't cut our hair, or all the other halachas is because of the 24,000 Talmidim of Rabbi Akiva that passed away during this, during the times of Sphira, music, etc., etc. And we know of the great celebration that took place on Lag BaOmer. A lot is said about Rabbi Akiva, well, which is 2 weeks down the line, Lag BaOmer. There is one Yom Tov that comes before that, which is next week, which is Pesach Sheni. Pesach Sheni, as it's described in the Torah, is a Yom Tov for itself. For those who couldn't make it in the Karban Pesach, Pesach Rishon, they were given a second chance, able to bring their Karban Yud Aliyah. But something that you might have not known, which is connected to Rabbi Akiva about Pesach Sheni. You know. Something specifically connected to, he cheated. Something specifically connected to Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva had 24,000 students, and a lot of speeches and a lot of interpretation and explanations you might have heard. What were the students thinking, and how were they behaving that they deserved Rahman al this plague, this punishment? Dave, you can sit down. I don't like watching you stand. And 24,000 of them. And then 5 of his best students were left. Amongst those 5 was the best, Chazal say, our sages said, one of them was Reb Meir. Reb Meir was one of Rabbi Akiva's best students. Rabbi Akiva. I'm sorry, Rabbi Meir. One of Rabbi Akiva's best students was Reb Meir. Again, what does Reb Meir have to do with the time of Sphira? This Reb Meir, it is believed that his yard site is on Pesach Sheni. On Pesach Sheni, if you were to be in Eretz Yisrael, you might find that there are a lot of people that go to his kever, the kever of Reb Meir baal hanes on Pesach Sheni, just like that you find on Lag BaOmer, a lot of people go, they say, about 1 million people go to the kever of Shimon ben Yochai, for the Lag BaOmer, for the yard site of Shimon ben Yochai. You'll find a lot of people go to the kever of Rav Meir baal hanes, because there is a Messiah that the yard site of Rav Meir baal hanes, who is the Talmud of Rabbi Akiva, one of the main Talmidim of Rabbi Akiva, his yard site is on Pesach Sheni. So I find it fit that now that we are in the days of Sphira, to study up a little about this great giant, Reb Meir. And let's read about some of the Chazal tell us, a story in the Gemara. And before we get to the actual story of the Gemara, we'll finish off with a story, maybe with the knockout punch, the story of the Gemara. There's a couple of famous slogans, a couple of famous statements that are attributed to this Reb Meir, and I'll see what the Gemara tells us about him. For example, we all know, you'll find many of us might even have a pushka in our home, that on the pushka you'll see Tzedakah L'Schus Reb Meir baal hanes. Reb Meir is a Tana. And somehow from all the Tanoim and the Amoraim, Reb Meir, many pushkas, many tzedakah institutions have a connection to, this is an honor and schus of Reb Meir baal hanes. Tremendous miracles have been associated, attributed to Reb Meir. Now, it's true, even Chabad has moistus, Koil Chabad, where they are connected to Reb Meir baal hanes. Many institutions are connected to Reb Meir baal hanes, and the Gemara talks about Reb Meir baal hanes. There is actually one halachic authority that questions this baal hanes business, because obviously there is a Tana called Reb Meir, and every Tana, as the Gemara says, was a giant. As the Gemara actually says, a Tana was so holy, so special, that it was the powers of every Tana to be Mechaya Mesim, to revive the dead. That's how holy they special they were. So to say that they could perform miracles, big deal. We're talking about supernatural people, we're talking about special holy people. But Reb Meir getting the title Baal Hanes, so somehow it became the common saying that Reb Meir is a miracle man, a miracle one. There is one halachic authority that questions it, and he says that it actually became, once the Ramban came to Eretz Yisrael, the Ramban came to Eretz Yisrael, so when the Ramban came to Eretz Yisrael, so somehow the Ramban's Rashi Tevis started, Reb Moshe Ben Nachman, his Rashi Tevis, his name started floating around, started becoming a more a household name, and people saw his name on different places written, and just it became Reish Mem Beis Nun. Somebody started translating it Reb Meir Baal Hanes, but it's not necessarily attributed to the Tana of Meir, but not most of the common people, and especially by the Hasidim and by the Svardim, it's well accepted that Reb Meir Baal Hanes is the great Tana Reb Meir, who we have a lot mentioned in the Mishnah, a lot mentioned in the Gemara, the great Torah giant, the Tana. He is not only the Torah giant, the student of Rabbi Akiva, but he is this quote-unquote miracle man, and many people give special tzedakah, and when they give tzedakah in his honor, special things happen. You know, we also say that people lose things, they give tzedakah, and his honor, they somehow find this thing. There's different things that they attribute to the schus of Reb Meir. One second, let me get this thing. Can you leave the question for later, please, okay? If you don't mind. I'll give you an example what else is mentioned connection to Reb Meir. We're going to learn the Gemara where Reb Meir himself will say that when push comes to shove, Reb Meir suggests, you don't know what to do, you're in trouble. Just say these words. Elakar de Meir Anani. The God of Reb Meir, help. And God will help. If you say these magical words, Hashem will help. And Reb Meir suggested this to somebody. So we see that there is something to this. There is a sefer called Tabor Haaretz. Reb Meir's kever is in Tveria. And there's a sefer called Tabor Haaretz. It's printed, I think, in Tafrei Samach Beis, over 100 years ago, from a Rav in Tveria. And he brings from the name of Mekubalim, from Kabbalists. He says that Reb Meir was such a special individual, such a holy person. You take the name Meir. The name Meir, Mem Aleph Yud Reish, is a Rashi Tevis, an acronym. Ruach Apenu Mashiach Hashem. He is the spirit of Mashiach. If you see the words Mem Aleph, Yud Reish. Ruach Apenu Mashiach Hashem. A beautiful thing the Chida writes. I'm just showing you how special this Reb Meir is, who we're going to celebrate his yahrzeit on Pesach Sheni. The Gemara says, Shlomo Melech says a pasuk, Daiga b'leivish ish. Many people walk around with worries. Some people worry about parnasa, money issues. Other people worry about shalom bayis issues. Other people worry about health issues. So what should a person do? So Shlomo Melech says, Yasichena. Yasichena. Shlomo Melech, the wisest of all people, says Yasichena. Now that's Chinese. What does that mean? I want to listen to Shlomo. So the Gemara in Yuma says two explanations. What Yasichena means. Either Yasichena means Yasichena midaitoi. Forget about it. Just forget about it. You ever heard that expression? Just forget about it. And the other interpretation is Yasichena la'acherim. You have an issue. Talk to a friend. Talk to people. Talk to people. Maybe something will help. Maybe something will help. So until I saw this chidah, I always would repeat. There's a very famous shot from the Kotzker Rebbe that I always enjoy. That the Kotzker Rebbe would say, I understand Yasichena midaitoi. I understand, forget about it, how it could help. At least it helps temporary. For the time that I'm not thinking about it, I'll be able to sit and eat. I'll be able to sit and drink. But how am I gonna? If I talk to Moshe about my problems, what is Moshe gonna help me? If I need $1 million, Moshe's a millionaire. How's it gonna help me? Let's be realistic.
100 down.
Huh? You'll give me 100.
100 down.
So the Kotzker Rebbe says a beautiful touch. Remember how and you actually in the Hayoim Yoim you could when you listen to what I'm going to say what the Kotzker Rebbe says, you could actually interpret this in one of the Hayoim Yoims when the Hayoim Yoim says this. Yasichena la'acherim. What does it mean? You should tell this to other people. It means, who am I going to choose to tell my problems to? Am I going to open the door and flag down somebody on the street? Hey, listen, mister, I have an issue. Would you like to listen to my issue? Is my problem? I'm not going to flag down someone from the street. I'm going to call a friend of mine. Says the Kotzker Rebbe, that's going to cause a big dilemma min hashamayim. Why is it going to cause a big dilemma min hashamayim? Because we all believe, ma'aminim b'nei ma'aminim, that everything that's happening in this world is meant to be. If chas v'shalom somebody is going through a trouble, he deserves it. Rachmana litzlan. It's a cleansing process because he stepped out of line. Okay, so now if I'm going through a cleansing process and I call Moshe my friend, I say, Moshe, this is bothering me. If Moshe is my real friend, he's going to feel hurt too. So min hashamayim, they're going to see Moshe feeling bad. Moshe is not supposed to feel bad. They're going to have to wipe the whole story out. So getting your friend to feel for you makes the shamayim erase the problem. Geschmack of shot, huh? A very geschmack of shot. You like it? That's what friendship does. But I saw from the Chidah a different type. Yasichena le'acherim. You should talk to other people. What does acherim mean? I'm soon going to tell you who is acherim. Reb Meir, I told you his main rebbe, his rabbi muvak, was Rabbi Akiva. His main rebbe was Rabbi Akiva, as mentioned before. One of his teachers was also Elisha ben Avuya. Elisha ben Avuya was a Tana, and later in his life, Elisha ben Avuya Nebuch went off the derech, went off the path. He did what he shouldn't be done, and so much so that Reb Meir, when he quotes studies, he quotes halachas, he's quoting his teacher, what he learned from him, from his previous life, when he was still his rebbe. Everything Reb Meir is teaching from his rebbe. He is not saying it from his Rebbe Elisha ben Avuya, because the Elisha ben Avuya went off. So it's everything Reb Meir taught in the name of his Rebbe Elisha ben Avuya. Reb Meir is referred to as acherim, as acher. Acher means out. Reb Meir actually did, as I hope to get to. Reb Meir actually tried to elevate his Rebbe, tried to do things to bring his Rebbe back to do tshuva, even after his Rebbe passed away. He tried to make He's as a rebbe able to get into Gan Eden too. Tried to get a kapara for his rebbe. But all his rebbe's teachings that a meir says that he learned from his rebbe, Reb Meir is called as acherim. So the Chidah says, if you have a daiga, not you, if Rahman al-Itzlan, God forbid, a yid has a daiga, do something la'acherim. Do something good in the name of Reb Meir. That's how it comes this whole thing. Do something, give it tzedakah, and have in mind Reb Meir Baal Hanes, Reb Meir, Yasichena la'acherim. Have in mind Reb Meir, and Reb Meir will take care of you.
I'm not following that progression. Acher is Elisha ben Abuya. How is a cherim?
Reb
How does that fit?
Reb Meir, every time Reb Meir says halacha in
Right.
the name of Elisha ben Abuya,
Right.
Reb Meir is called Acher.
Meir is called
Acher is Reb Meir.
Oh, okay.
Every time Reb Meir, I'm sorry if I'm answering him, but I'm trying to let me get all my information out.
All right,
You can ask a
all right.
question later.
Right.
האחרים באוריות זה רבי מאיר בגלל מה שהיה עם רבי נתן. אחרי מה שהיה עם רבי נתן.
Can. Rav Pamim, most of the times when a mayor says his own things, a mayor could be quoting his rabbi. His Rabbi Amuvak was Rabbi Akiva, and he learned from many people. I'll soon say, his Rabbi Amuvak was Rabbi Akiva. He got smicha from Rabbi Akiva when he was very young. And that wasn't accepted right away. He was too young. Rabbi Akiva loved him so much, he said, wow, at a young age he gave him smicha. Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava gave him smicha later on. He was a Talmud from Rabbi Yishmael. He was a Talmud later from Rabbi Elazar ben Horkanus. He was a Talmud of Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov. He also learned from Rabbi Tarfon. And later, the Gemara says in Chagiga, he also learned from Elisha ben Avuya. And Elisha ben Avuya was the one that eventually he's referred to as Acher because he made the left turn. Okay, let's get back to this. I'm just building up who this giant, Shemenachim, you weren't here. Why are we even talking about Reb Meir? Because we are in the days of Sfira. Sfira, we hear about Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva. It happens to be Rabbi Akiva, one of his main students is Reb Meir. And Reb Meir Baal Hanes. Reb Meir, his yahrzeit is Pesach Sheni. Pesach Sheni. So I'm going to talk about Reb Meir first, Pesach Sheni. Where is this Reb Meir? Who's his family? Let's talk a little about his family. Guess what? Everybody's always looking for yichus, lineage.
Mm-hmm.
You know where he comes from, Reb Meir? The great Reb Meir. Where?
Get.
Reb Meir is his offspring, his lineage. He's from Gerim, from converts. Which converts? When the Niran Kaisar sent to conquer Yerushalayim, conquer Eretz Yisrael, and he saw it ain't going. Every group the Kaisar sent to conquer Yerushalayim, they didn't come back. One by one, you know that story. Every group that the Kaisar, the Roman Kaisar sent, they saw that he lost them. Not that the Jews killed them. They were drawn in they converted to Yiddishkeit. One of them was Niran Kaisar. Mibnei Banav Shel Niran Kaisar, from the grandchildren from Niran Kaisar, is Reb Meir. This great Reb Meir is one of the great grandchildren